Well, hello. My name is Jonathan Garano, and welcome to the second episode of Jonathan Teaches. Yes, I still need a haircut, you guys. I kind of like this, actually. But welcome to this channel where basically my goal is to publish things once or twice a month where I help you grow and give you insight regarding the digital online marketing world. I'm really excited because today's lesson, we're gonna go over how I was able to help a client make over $70,000 in a week. How is this lesson structured? Well, a few weeks ago, I did a webinar where over about 200 people showed up, and after I was done, many people that either missed the class or in the class, they said, hey Jonathan, could you take the recording and put it, on a platform where we could review it for a lifetime? And guess what? That is what I'm doing right now. Now, before we jump into everything, I would love to be completely transparent. Down below in the description, right there, there is a link to a mailing list. If you sign up, you'll get weekly free insights, and then also you'll be notified when there's another free webinar. And then number two, I am developing a course called Jonathan Teaches, where basically I take all 8 years of my digital marketing world experience and I put it into the course. I talk about Facebook ads, Instagram ads, how I was able to grow a TikTok account to over 1.7 million followers. I talk about copywriting. I also talk about, more specific case studies. And for right now, because the course is in development, if you put the coupon code Jonathan Teaches, you'll get $300 off, and it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So get it today. Once the course is completed, I am raising the course price. Yes, here we go. Thank you for watching as always. And here's the lesson. So here is the little photo that I wanted to start off with. This is $76,000 from November 25th to December 2nd. That's about, 8 days. Okay, so everybody, let's begin. What does it take to make a living? Well, there's this article back in 2008 called 1,000 True Fans by Kevin Cayley. And what I like to say is that you don't need 1 million people. You don't need to hit a broad audience. Remember what I said yesterday when it comes to influencers and brands, is that you want to focus on a specific niche first. And it is from that specific niche that you're able to branch out. And if you just start with 1,000 people who want to buy your product, who follow you, you're more likely to make money in the long term than just short-term profits. Stop going broad, start being very specific. So here's an example, right? I keep on showing this, but with Hint, right? Non-sugar flavored water. Their niche is Mrs. W, entrepreneur, independent, strong, on the go, healthy, active. They can, if they wanted to, they could say, hey, our water is for everyone. But no, that's not going to work. What you want to do is just start off small and then start expanding, because you want that initial 1,000 people purchase. If you have that, then you can use that capital to begin to spread out. If you go too broad, you will not hit anything. It's like with the saying, if you try to please everyone, you're not going to please anyone. Again, pedos, Miss W, junk food snackers, healthy, gluten-free, couch potato, they very specific on their niche. And as soon as they start generating revenue from that, they begin to grow. So this also goes for influencers as well. Okay, so from 2008 to 2018, everyone had this idea of 1,000 True Fans, until recently by this woman who's been studying this for 10 years, who wrote an article that you should look up called 1,000 True Fans, ? Try 100. Now, this is what I think about when it comes to a high price point product. Yesterday and the day before, there's a couple people that hit me up and they were like, yo, Jonathan, I have a product that's about $200 to $300. What do I do? And I say, listen, if it's a high price point, piece of product, physical or digital, focus on 100 people first. So that way you can get, it's better to, how about this? It's better to get $1,000 from 100 people than it is to get $10 from 1,000 people. Because it's easier to get $1,000 from 100 people than it is to get $10 from 1,000 people. So think about that. And that's why you should do 100. And then in addition to that, if you get 100 people, guess what? All you need
is 100 people, because once you have 100 people, Facebook allows you to take those emails, to take those contacts and use them in Business Manager to make a lookalike audience of that. So every time I work with a client, I always go, hey, how many emails do you have? Or how many fans do you have? Or how many text message accounts do you have? And if they have over 100, guess what? We can definitely use that. Do lookalike audiences when we decide to do ads and start attacking a targeted demo. So that is very crucial. Is yes, you can have 1,000 true fans to make a living, but if you get 100 people just to become fans of you, you'll be able to retarget that audience and get new like-minded individuals. So we could talk about so many different things, but for the purpose of this presentation, we're going to be talking about Michael Sasser, who's an influencer who has a product that we did the case study, this launch for. Now, Michael Sasser, look, he has less than 7 million views on his channel. Yes, he has 116,000 subscribers now, but when we launched this campaign, he only had 80,000. And look, this guy rarely posts. The last time he posted was 4 weeks ago. He doesn't have to consistently push out content for people to buy his product. And I'm going to tell you how and why this can easily be done. So, how do you keep in touch with your audience if you're not posting content? Easy. Emails. MailChimp is an example. I use MailChimp right now, and I have about 2,000, 3,000 emails in my vault. In this case, if you don't get MailChimp, start up right now, get those emails. And here's an example, right? For my simple thing, dogoodjonathan.com, right? My newsletter for my YouTube channel. I just have a little button that says every week I'll send you reflections on life, exclusive content, business theories, and random top of mind subjects. Nothing fancy, no spam, no bullshit, just me. And by having that there, I don't even promote it, just having that there, people sign up. And hey, listen, if I get to sign up a day, that's great, because at the end of a 1 month, that's 30 emails. After 3 months, that's about 100 emails. I can start retargeting those individuals for my products. Judy, I mentioned Judy almost every single presentation. And look at, they have a simple, beautiful email list that says, stay covered with the latest, enter your email. I'm telling you, email is the way to go. Here's an example of not to do. So people are like, yo, I'm going to put my email up available. I'm going to say, here, sign up. And that's great. And that's wonderful. And so this company, Jilly's, they hit me up 2 days ago, and they said, take a look at their site, and I'll be consulting with them. And their product is amazing. It's fabulous. Basically what happens is they put little stickies on their dress, and the dress doesn't fly up. Well, here's the thing. You go on their website, and it says launch delayed, enter your email to find when we're live. That is a very negative, no value statement. When you're putting out your email list, you need something of value for your audience to want to sign up. So, hey, you're going to get updates on health, or you're going to get exclusive videos, or I'm going to give you advice. Something of value, right? Not this launch delayed, okay? Or just sign up for updates. No, if you look at Judy again, they're about emergency kits brand, right? And so stay covered with the latest. That's hilarious. Covered, because again, it's a health brand. It's always following within that niche that they are in. Okay. So here's some bonus. Here's some advanced stuff. If you want to do emails on an advanced level, I say Active Campaigns is a very good resource. And the reason why I love Active Campaigns is because you could funnel different people based on, of course, which email they open. So let's say, for example, you open up 5 emails, right? If you open up 5 emails, what's really great is that if they open the 3rd email, Active Campaigns will let you know that they opened the 3rd email, not the first one, and then they can start being funneled to different emails that you sign up and write for. When it comes to SMS, I believe that the mobile number is the new way to go. Get the SMS marketing. And the reason why I say that is because, hey, people change their emails, but no one really changes their phone number. And that's something that Nick Sharma said, and I believe in what he says, and that's great advice. So Community is a great resource. I just signed up for that. I just applied. They're hitting me up, and I should be getting that very soon. And here's an example of Judy just doing that right now. See, sign up to receive personalized emergency information by text. Again, I want to stress that enough. Look at that. Sign up to receive personalized emergency information by text. But then if you look at Jilly's, launch delayed. I mean, come on. Value versus an update. You need to provide some sort of value for people to sign up. So all you need is 100. Remember that. Okay, I understand. People are like, wait a second, Jonathan, isn't email dead? Isn't email dead? No. Millennials love email. Over 60% of millennials say email is the preferred vehicle for communicating with retailers. And the reason why that's so important is because email is a place where you can actually connect with someone. It's the informal, formal way of more in-depth. It's kind of like on a dating profile, right? You see the photo, it's nice, but then you click on the more info and you read their bio and you begin to fall in love with them even more. And that's what the purpose of email is all about. So what I'm saying is start your mail newsletter ASAP. Be in control, okay? If you want to launch your product correctly, you have to be in control. Look at, this is Michael Sasser's email campaign right now. He has 11,470 contacts, and in the last 30 days, he got 183 new contacts. And so you're like, wait a second, Jonathan, how should my emails be written? Well, okay, again, I do not condone this at all. And I said this on Tuesday, and I'll say it again now. Your emails should be written like, if someone is driving, can they see it? Not really necessarily understand it, but can they see it? So they're holding their phone in their hand and they see it. Well, what does that mean? That means your emails should be spaced out, not clunky. They should be able to look down, look up, look down, look up. That's how it should be written. It doesn't matter how many words there are. It doesn't matter the big words. It doesn't matter how complicated the message is. It just has to look aesthetically spaced out. Hustle.co does a really good job of this. Adweek does a really good job of this. CNN does a good job of this. I mean, there's a lot of good email newsletters out there that know how to space things out. Okay, so now you're wondering, wait a second, Jonathan, I don't get it. You have people sign up to the email. What do I email them? How does Michael, he's not posting content because he posted content 4 weeks ago. How is he able to get sales? Well, it's called the drip feed automation. In marketing, it's called the 7 touch points, where if you want someone to purchase your product, you have to hit them 7 times. It's something called recency bias. It's kind of like when a celebrity decides to talk about their movie. The reason why they consistently do PR is because once you see them enough, you want to be able to see their project. Well, same thing with your product, same thing with marketing. If someone sees you 7 times, either be it your social, YouTube, an email form, a billboard, whatever it is, they're more likely to become a fan of you. So since I believe in that, I do what I call the drip feed automation 7 touch points. That means I sit down with my client and we write 7 emails that are automatically given to the consumer once they write their email down in your email list. What this does is it allows you to make wonderful emails, and then boom, you're gone. You can take your time and do something else, right? So here we go. It always starts off with a welcome message, and that's the first day that they arrive. Then there's a value, like maybe I'll tell you exactly what a value email looks like. Value. And look at this. Look at the spacing. Day 1, then 2 days later, then 4 days later is the next email. Then 4 days later again, which is day 11, they get another email. Then 4 days later, they get the product, the sell of it. Like you sell the product to them. You actually sell it to them. This is why you need to buy my product, right? Then 5 days later is a thank you, and then you can repeat. But once I get to these, 7 emails, I'm done. I move on. I let that automate. And then I only write to my people either once a week, once a month, or whenever I feel like it. But as long as I get this automation, and I want to stress this enough, remember, recency bias. If you engage with them 7 times in a span point that's less than 30 days, remember what I said on Tuesday, where visual activity gets into your hippocampus? Well, 7 touch points. That means by the 7th time, they're like, okay, I remember this brand. And that's really important. Okay. So you're like, wait a second. Is there a way that I can do drip feed automation with social? Yes, you can. It's called highlights. Go on your Instagram and make highlight stories. See these things? Judy does a wonderful job with it. And I actually do this on my Instagram as well. You know, I use my Instagram as kind of like a dating profile. When people go on it, they know exactly what they're going to get. They click on this, they see what I look like, they see how I work, and this is just automated. Now I don't have to post stories all the time, just like I don't have to write emails all the time, because everything is automated, either through highlight of stories or through the drip feed automation through email. So here's an example of a welcome message, right? Here we go. Subject, click. Look what you've done. This is Michael Sassers, by the way. Michael Sasser is a photographer. So I'm going to say click because, you know, photographer equals click. If I am Judy, maybe I'll say in the subject line, cover your face. But this is photography. So click, look what you've done. Look how spaced out I made it. That's one of my favorite sounds from any camera, click. It's like you did it, you saw something you liked, and you went ahead and kept it because you found it important. Now, this is very valuable, and the reason why is because in a way, I'm doing 2 things in this email. I'm showing my brand, which is the photography, click, but I'm also being grateful. I'm being honest. I'm being transparent. I'm being vulnerable. So I thank them again for joining the newsletter, and there's a whole long list of other things that he says. Now, the very end is crucial, okay? I go, sincerely, Michael Sasser dash the boudoir YouTube guy. It's because he is about boudoir photography, right? The reason why I do the dash, right, is that is the tagline you want your people to be talking about when they talk about you. So for example, if Michael Sasser fan is walking around and is talking about Michael Sasser, they're gonna be like, yo, who's Michael Sasser? And you're like, oh, it's the boudoir YouTube guy. Or let's say, for example, it's Jilly's again, that product that when you stick it on someone's dress, the dress doesn't fly. Imagine if it said, sincerely, Jilly's dash the product that doesn't make your dress fly high, right? Now, when people are walking around, they're like, oh, what product is that? Oh, it's Jilly's. It's the product that doesn't make your dress fly high. Boom. So using that dash creates that personal, informal vibe, but it's also used as the tagline when you are, of course, talking to your audience. So again, let's recap. How do you build a culture within emails, right? Have your own slang. In this case, we use click. Make your brand equal a person. That's right. Brand are becoming people. So you got to be that informal side of you. Relate to your brand to an inside term. Again, like I said, that dash and then that tagline is so key. And then be real and personable and then give value. So here we go. What is a value email example? Well, here we go. Here's a subject. The quickest, easiest way to make a photo look better, right? Look at this. Saying the word exclusive video. Exclusive, that's value. It's like, oh my gosh, this is just for me. This is just for the viewer. It doesn't have to be a discount code. That's not value. Value is just information. Next one, why aren't you getting clients? You know what value is? An educational lecture. Judy does such a good job about this too right now, where they're sending text messages to people about how to cook a healthy dinner or how to stay healthy while you're in quarantine, right? So the idea is that you're not just pushing out your product and you're just not talking about the features of your product. Rather, you're telling them things that you think are important, and it's still kind of around your niche. And then the last one, which I tend to do from time to time, is vulnerable motivation. Sometimes this has nothing to do with your product or your niche, but you're just like, hey, I want to write a motivational piece for my readers. And you get to do that, and they become even closer to you. Because remember, a brand equals a person now. A really good client that I have, which they don't, it's a dating site, and I can't tell you what it is because it's a dating site and they don't want me to give it away. But one of the things that they have is they're talking all about dating, and then they have one specific 1 hour class on just Kobe Bryant. And it has nothing to do with their dating, but the reason why they mention it is because they wanted to motivate and just inspire, their readers and their members to say, hey, listen, life is short. Look what Kobe was able to do. Be grateful. Sometimes your viewers want that. They want to know that you can be vulnerable and real with them sometimes. Yes, you can force your features, but it's okay to go outside of your niche sometimes and talk about vulnerable motivation. Okay, here's some bonus culture building, which is really cool, which I really like. What you can do is create a Facebook group, make it private, but make sure that it's visible, that anybody can find it. And this is a great way for people to communicate with your brand, especially if you're an influencer. Oh my gosh, have a private group. People show up. This is when you create those 1,000 true fans. Remember what I said, yesterday, where basically that the idea is the strongest and loudest voice is the minority. And so if you have a private group of 1,000 true fans, these people will be loud for you. And that's what you want.
Right. And by like making it private, then like they feel that exclusivity and like they feel like they're like the committed group of people.
Exactly. So here is a private visible. I want to show you this wonderful private group. So my intern, Tori Diaz, made this. I love her so much. I'm so proud of her. She made this private little group called This Cat is Chunky, and it just exploded in a year and a half. And now it has over 700,000 members. And Tori, I love you. You did really good. But the point is, again, if you have a brand or if you're an influencer, make a private group, and that way your members can come in and just talk about you. So here is the pre-launch for your campaign. This is what I like to do. Okay. So even though I was able to generate $70,000 in a week for my client, Michael Sasser, it was actually a 3-month long planning proposal type of thing. It was a 3-month plan. Sometimes guys, you need water, right? So this is what I think. These are the emails that I send to the people, to his list. I go, hey list, hey photographers, what do you think of X, and help design X? What is X? X is the product. So when I was helping Vessi Footwear, which is this Kickstarter campaign, this waterproof shoe that I talked about yesterday, we send out an email to the list and say, what do you think of waterproof shoes? Or in this case with Michael Sasser, what do you think if I taught you about boudoir photography? Or if I was Judy, what do you think about emergency kits? Let's just say that, right? Or you could say, help me design my next product. Help me design what my product should look like. Or I need some help. Here is a survey. Tell me and help me what I should be doing, okay? And the reason why you do that is because around 60 days or 30 days later, right, you show a preview of the product based on what your survey or your email or how people responded to you in the prior email before. So it's like, hey, what do you think of emergency kits? And then people were like, I love emergency kits. I hope emergency kits look like this. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then 30 days later or 60 days later, you're like, hey, because you said this is what I'm making. So with Michael Sasser, it's like, what do you think about making a course for people that want to shoot boudoir? Everyone's like, I want to do it. Then 30 days later or 60 days later, he's like, hey, because you filled out the survey, I'm making a product because you wanted it. Then 30 days after, because hey, it takes about a month to build your product, right? You say, hey, it's coming. You know, wink, wink, hint, hint. Guess what's coming? With KitKat Kits, what we did was we took a picture of his entire warehouse of everything that he was working on. And we sent out an email and said, see all these supplies? I am working hard on my product and you'll be getting it very soon. Then 10 days after that, you begin, after the hint, you begin the campaign. And I'm going to show you right now what kind of the campaign looks like. Boom. This is what the campaign should look like. Okay. You tell them what's going on in the week on day one. So remember previously, you say you begin a campaign, you say something is coming. So you say, hey everyone, I'm letting you know this is the week where I'm launching the campaign. And these are how many emails you're going to be getting. You're going to be getting about 5 to 6 emails, and I'm going to be explaining to you the features of the product, what people are saying, and how much work I put into it. Then the next day, you talk about your product, the features, and the hard sell. On day 4, you're going to say, these are what people are saying about your product. The reason why you give yourself 2 days right here is because when people buy it, you're not going to know what they say about it. You give it a couple days for your community managers, yourself, to review what people are saying. So then you can start beginning to not manufacture a story, but put together a story that makes sense for people that are reading further into your launch. Then from there, 2 days later, I talk about more features and the hard sell. And then day 7, the next day right after that, I take all the testimonials put together and then I do a final push. And then on day 8, I do a thank you email. And that's it for a launch week. Very simple. But as you could see from everything above that I talked about, it's very strategic in how do I make sure that I retain my my viewers, my audience, my fans. How much do I actually need of them? And then we begin the flow of the drip feed, the 7 days, the emails, the pre-launch, and then the launch. It's all a funnel. It's planning. So this is just scratching the surface. If you want more information, you can always go to Jonathan Teaches for the email list. I go more in depth. I also go more in depth when it comes to the course. Right now with the course, which is amazing, is that there are about 5 different sections, 5 different classes within the section of how to do this specifically, how to obtain the emails right off the bat, all the way to breaking down each drip feed email, all the way to the pre-launch and the launch itself. So if you use the code Jonathan Teaches, you'll get 75% off. Don't forget to DM me on Instagram. You can find me on dogoodmedia.co. And I believe it's time for questions. That's awesome. Okay, so as I'm gonna go way up, right? So that way you can see one of the clients that I work with that does just entertainment. Smile Squad. We'll start off with them. Smile Squad, they don't sell a physical product, right? They're just entertainment, right? And so their niche of entertainment is laughter and funny and haha. So in a way, that entertainment group is a niche. So when you are a performer, think about the people that go to your shows the most. Think about people that are signed up the most. Are they 35 to 45-year-old men? Are they 20 to 30-year-olds? No matter if you're an entertainer or not, there's always that niche. That's number 1. Number 2, when it comes to a product, don't just think of like a physical product that you're selling a course or that you're something that you're manufacturing. Sometimes a product, guess what, is a donate button. Sometimes a product is a Patreon, okay? Sometimes a product maybe is a sticker, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be something physical that you're manufacturing, or a course or a class. If you're in entertainment, you have to be thinking about the 1,000 true fans who can maybe do a Patreon, a donate, go to your live stream show. And no matter what you're doing, remember, everybody has a niche. Look at Mia Finney. I just want to say, she's just all story-based in entertainment. And you know what's so wonderful about Mia Finney? Is you know what she's selling? She's selling nothing but a t-shirt later on in the future. But her product is using her fan base to go to brands, which I talked about yesterday. Okay, so what's really great, I mean, Facebook is a little scary, but they do that right now. And I'll go to that slide right now. Is that once you get 100 emails, for example, right, Naveen?
Yeah.
And you create like a business manager account on Facebook for your brand, because I think no matter if you're an influencer, no matter who you are, you should always have a Facebook and Instagram connected to an ad account. And when you're here, Naveen, you click on audiences, you'll be able to import all those 100 emails into Facebook's little algorithm. And then from there, Facebook will look at all those emails, and then you can create a lookalike. There's just a little button, and it basically clones those people and searches for more of them throughout the interweb. And now people who signed up that love Naveen, well, guess what? They're looking for clones of other clones who will like Naveen, and you'll be able just to build from there. Ooh, I love this. Okay, so yes, I work with Pitos, and Pitos has, I think, 10,000 followers on Instagram. I forget. And on, again, Business Manager, which is so beautiful, is that if you connect your Instagram for 30 days, you connect your Instagram to the Business Manager for 30 days, Facebook will begin to capture data. And what you can do is you can create a lookalike audience based on the people that interact with your Instagram page. So a lot of people that we retarget on Pitos, which is great in the beginning for Instagram story ads, are people that have interacted with their Instagram profile. And what's cool is that it has so many different options. Number one, you can retarget people that saved your post, people that have followed your page, people that look at your stories, people that comment. It's wonderful. So yeah, Instagram is another avenue that you can do with lookalike audiences. Remember, all I'm looking for is this. Do you have 100 fans somewhere that is trackable? You're good. Of course, email to me is the most important, but yeah, you could do it with Instagram. So with that said, thank you so much. Again, email jonathanteaches.com for the email list. The course is 75% off. And lastly but not least, you can follow me here. Bye.